Okay, so you, the viewer, might be thinking this is a pretty bold topic. How to recognize a spiritual teacher from the false, the true from the bad, the sheep from the wolves. And a pretty bold topic for somebody you've never heard of in some random room wearing some red fancy jacket. Actually, it was only $40. But, yeah. Obviously, I'm young. What do I know? Well, I'm going to be sharing just some really basic, intuitional, common sense insights here that I think we all know. And so I'm not. I think if you watch for a little while, you'll quickly see. I'm not sharing anything. Whoa! Who's he to say that? They're things we all know. But the reason I'm sharing them is because they're things that I don't think we take so seriously, or that we're afraid of. We suppress them, we rationalize them away, because they call us to live a certain way or do certain things that we are afraid to do or don't want to do. It was for this reason that I think most of the great spiritual teachers have really just focused on basic stuff. Jesus, for instance, for all the complicated metaphysics that Christians have produced, Jesus participated in almost none of that. What he did do was spend most of his time teaching, love thy neighbor. And that was something people really didn't want to hear. Yeah, I know that. You do? Because love thy neighbor, when you look at how it really calls you to live, calls you to not get revenge of the person who just screwed you over. In fact, it calls you to love them. Love thy neighbor calls you to not think yourself superior than somebody else. Love thy neighbor calls you to, again, not to hate your enemy, and so on. These are things that people of his time, people today, don't want to hear. So instead we engage in abstract metaphysics and call ourselves spiritual by doing that. Great. You're a philosopher. Maybe a good one, maybe a bad one. But that has nothing to do with who you are as a being. We take certain types of philosophizing, certain subjects, and we call them spiritual. Other ones we call them not spiritual. But in reality, it's all the same thing. You're speculating about the worldview and using your logic to do so. Or in some cases, lack thereof. But in any case, that's just philosophy. This is why, again, the real spiritual teachers haven't focused on complicated stuff. They've focused on the everyday experience, the basic insights we have in the here and now. Buddha didn't engage in all this crazy, metaphysics stuff that has followed in the Buddhist tradition following him. He focused and said many times, I teach only the nature of suffering and the elimination of suffering. That's my message. Whatever metaphysics I do teach, I teach it because it's relevant to those. So for instance, he did teach a teaching, that all things are transient. That's a metaphysical assertion that's very relevant to the alleviation of suffering, to finding that deep internal peace we're all looking for. So the point is, a real spiritual teacher is going to be teaching really basic, simple stuff and helping you to see that, to see the real implications of this, to see how much this little saying that you think you know hasn't yet permeated your life. So that's my message for today. That's part one of what a real spiritual teachers teach is, again, the simple stuff. But their duty is to help you see how much of life it permeates. Now, there are a few problems with this. One, there are people that will teach really obscure doctrines as though they're the basic of life, and then they'll try to reduce all of life down to this really basic doctrine. And so you got to be careful when someone's teaching a simple teaching and explaining how it needs to permeate life. And you need to separate that from when they're actually just trying to make their really weird belief the foundation of life when it clearly isn't. I'm not going to be specific about what beliefs they are, as it's going to cause controversy irrelevant to this video topic, which is really about helping you find happiness by finding teachers who are actually going to help you find it. Now again, a real teacher, I haven't said it yet, a real teacher is just going to help you bring out what's already in you. The reason we need to go to counselors and teachers is because we haven't yet learned how to access that insight in ourselves. So a real teacher is really concerned with your happiness, is going to teach you how to do that, so that when you walk away from the teacher and you have your quiet moments, you're able to continually access that wisdom inside of you. But again, though, the foundation of real spiritual teaching is going to come down to teaching basic, simple stuff and helping people see how much this permeates life. So if you're reading about people that are, all talking about, all sorts of crazy metaphysical stuff from, the ins and outs of reincarnation, the ins and outs of various Christian metaphysics, be it Catholic or Protestant, not not skillful. The New Age stuff, energy fields, crystals and angels talking to me and this and that. Come on. Again, maybe they had angels talk to them. I have never seen an angel. I've never met anybody who's seen an angel. Maybe somehow they're real. But again, that kind of speculation is not conducive to finding your own happiness or finding somebody who can actually teach you the truth. Not conducive to that. Because the second you base your happiness on, no, this person really did talk to an angel or see this experience, is the second you base your happiness on something conditional. And there's always an anxiety that comes with that. But the true peace is a place within yourself that is beyond needing conditions to be a certain way in order for you to be happy. And that's why it's peaceful. If it was conditional, then there would always be the underlying anxiety of, what if this condition goes away? So, a bit of a tangent. Again, the real spiritual teachers are going to teach you the really simple stuff, because life really isn't that complicated. We make it complicated. I make my life very complicated. In fact, I don't know anybody, this might sound a little arrogant, I don't know anybody who's made their life more complicated than me. And I don't mean that in a good way. The complication has rarely done me much good. So, this again is coming from experience. Real teachers can help you simplify stuff. That's my message. I'm going to make a part 2 right after this. So if you're watching this one and you enjoyed it, please continue watching. Thank you. Bye.